Welcome to episode 3 of Full Court Magic. If you guys have not joined us yet, I am Don Strouble. I am the Orlando Magic beat writer for Roundtable Sports, and I am joined by my very talented and hardworking colleague, Andrew Cherico, who provides plenty of support for us on the Magic and Heat Roundtable sites, as well as being an absolutely cracked insider for Knights 247. I know my man has been busy with the transfer portal lately, but it has not stopped him from keeping up with the Orlando Magic. Andrew, how are you doing, my man? How are you surviving this signing season?
100%, my brother. Like you said, I've been busy, but we've managed. Now we got class starting up. We're both seniors, so
Yep.
we're managing the grind, but can't complain, man. UCF, that is kind of slowing down now with the transfer portal signings, the signing class. And I've been keeping tabs with the Magic. A lot of fun going on. I have a couple big topics to get into here in this episode, but otherwise can't complain, Don. Enjoyed the new year, so everything was all good.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear, man. And yeah, speaking of people who have worked hard to make things happen, Orlando Magic center Moe Wagner is finally back in the lineup after a year plus long, arduous recovery from a left ACL tear that he suffered towards the end of December 2024. He did not step foot on the court of the Kia Center in a Magic uniform. I believe it was for 385 days. I mean, this is just how these ACL tears go, especially when you're a big man carrying a lot around a lot of size, a lot of weight, and you have to be really careful about these things. And Wagner was diligent in his recovery through all the days of frustration. Uh, he made it through, and he returned against the New Orleans Pelicans on Sunday in Orlando's 128 to 118 win, and was really the kind of spark that this team needed despite playing just under 10 minutes. I mean, no surprise there with a minutes restriction, in his first game back. I believe he only logged 8 points, but the energy that Moe Wagner brings to a roster that is once again dealing with injury struggles. It cannot be understated the impact that he has, not just on the stat sheet, but through his intangibles. What say you, Andrew?
Yeah, Don, I think Mo coming back is huge for the Magic. You said the word, took the words right out of my mouth, spark plug. That's immediately what I think of. When you look back at the New Orleans Pelicans in the Magic game, he came in and he provided the spark that the team needed. If you remember early in the fourth quarter, Magic went on a run. He had a big time and one. I don't know about you, Don, but 8 points in 10 minutes. First game back, that's pretty good. You
Yes,
can't
it is.
complain about that. Can't complain. 0 for 2 from three, 3 of 7 from the field, but still, that's the kind of spark you need. This team is pretty thin on center depth as well, big man depth in general, with Noah Penda making a start, Goga Batadze starting as well. But having Mo back is huge for this roster. And now in Germany, we may be seeing Franz come back as well. That's exciting. The Franz brothers, the Wagner brothers, I should say, the Wagner brothers being back. Mo, I think you were very encouraged with what he saw. He looked mobile. He looked fun. He was having fun out there. Like you said, all his teammates were happy for him. Everybody was out there cheering. It's good to see him back on the court. A year is a long time, Don. Longer than a year.
Yeah,
Couldn't
yeah,
imagine being away from watching this team for a year. Imagine not being able to play for a year. And
yeah.
hardcore recovery. But it's. I think this could be what they need to go on a nice run here to begin January.
Yeah, no, I agree. Good points you make there. And, Mo talked about it pregame. He spoke with Jeff Turner, and then also postgame. He talked about trying not, I'm paraphrasing here, trying not to let the emotions get the best of him, though he understands how emotional the moment is. Obviously, anyone would get chills down their spine coming out onto the court for the first time after that long to that ovation. And, it was one of those things where there was some nerves behind it too, because you go that long after an injury. There's some worry, especially it sounded like from his family, about, oh, is everything going to go well? You're kind of tense, because the last thing you want is to have a major setback. But It sounded like his brother Franz, as we all know, very talented forward for the Magic, tried to be a steadying presence as Franz continues his recovery from a high ankle sprain suffered in early December against the New York Knicks. And as you alluded to, we might see him for the upcoming games in Germany, which we're going to talk about very soon. But yes, very happy for Mo Wagner in his return. He's very deserving of this moment. He's such a steadying presence, such a positive light in that locker room, and he talked about how important it was for him and how much it meant to him to have everybody in the organization behind him, from players to coaches, whomever. People just supporting him along the way, especially during those tough days. And now he's back on the floor, and the Magic get back a supremely talented player that they will need desperately down the stretch.
Yeah, I think Mo was one of the guys that many Magic fans, everybody around the organization wanted to bring back this season. And in the weirdest way, I don't mean to say this maliciously, but him getting injured increased the odds of him coming back, because it may have been a fat contract that he was looking for had he not gotten injured and proceeded to have a six-man of the year season.
Yeah,
Now, yeah, just to finish.
yeah, go ahead.
Him being able to come back at the price tag that he did to play with his brother for another season, be in a Magic uniform for at least one more year. I think he appreciates the recovery effort, the patience, and the grace given to him during that. And I think they're going to work him back into the lineup really well. But yeah, what you're saying, Don?
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. No, yeah, it's an important thing to point out because he was having an excellent season last year. Was averaging career high in points, almost 13 points per game. Was really uh, such an important part of this team when not only Paulo Banchero went down with a torn oblique, but then Mo's brother Franz goes down with a torn oblique in early December, just a couple weeks before Mo went down with the torn ACL. And so it's like you needed him among other role players to really step up, and he answered the call. And as you said, I mean, he could have been trending towards a six man of the year campaign had it not been for the injury, could have led to a bigger contract. But it what he brings on and off the floor was enough for the Magic to say, all right, we want him back for at least one more year, even though we understand he's going to miss probably a good portion of the following season. Nevertheless, we want to give him this contract, and they rewarded him with that. And it just again speaks volumes to the kind of player that he is.
Yeah, the Magic have been just good enough to stay atop of first place in the Southeast Division, but bringing Mo back, and if he can bring somewhere, I'm not talking 15 points a game, but if he can get back to that 10 to 12 point a game range, maybe 7 rebounds, provide some constant minutes as soon as he gets off of his minute restriction, that's a great addition for the Magic. It's almost like a buyout player that you're bringing in midseason. That's kind of how you have to treat it. This is the reinforcements are coming in. Now you got to wait for Franz to get healthy, wait for Jalen to come back, and everything should start piecing together towards the end of the season, because the Magic need everybody healthy if they want to make a playoff run.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. And this team has had a lot of impressive wins, but the health just has not been a factor. So this will definitely help out with that. And I know we wish Mo the best moving forward and great health. And I think it's important to talk about what this Magic team has been long before Mo came back, and kind of what this team has looked like well before the holidays and now into the new year. And I think the best way to describe it is inconsistency. This has been a Magic team that has not won consecutive games in well over a month. And this win loss pattern is coming in such a way that it presents these common concerning themes that not only head coach Jamal Mosley is harping on in post-game press conferences, but it's something that's reverberating through the team, and it comes down to effort. And there's just this. It feels like the team's trying to find a way out of a rut that really just comes down to this one central intangible, and it's can you get the effort back? Can you put together a full 48-minute performance? What have you seen through this kind of odd stretch, Drew?
Yeah, yeah, Don, I just want to elaborate on the point that you made. If I'm not mistaken, the win against the Jazz, 128, 127. Since that win, it was win loss, win loss, win loss, win loss, win loss, win loss. That's almost six in a row of mismatch win and losing. That is not how you're going to build a playoff deep contention team. You need to build consistency. You need to establish dominance. You need to know how to win two games in a row. The injury bug of this team, of course, has been a huge factor. Not having Franz is, I think, what we've seen the most important piece of this Magic team. It's almost weird in a way to say that even though the Magic are at their best with Franz and Paolo, Franz is just so integral for not only the scoring, but the defense and the leadership that he provides, the ball, the playmaking that he has. He's just an all around Swiss Army knife for that Magic roster. And when him and Paolo are on the court together, that's when they are at their best. So I think the real factor has been missing him along with Jalen Suggs and many other minor injuries along the way. You got Jamal Cain getting minutes in important games. I mean, this is like he's not. No offense to Jamal Cain, but he's not the guy you want to see getting too many minutes as you prepare to take that next step into the season. We know it's a long 82 game season. We know they're going to Germany, or they're in Germany, I should say, if I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken.
Yes, they
But
are.
yeah, so it's in between all of that, just the inconsistent factors. They haven't been able to put out the same starting five for more than 10 games in a row. They haven't been able to piece together a solid 60-minute game. It's just always straight inconsistency from the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter. You don't know going into the fourth quarter of the match, you're going to score 20 points or if they're going to score 40. That's what the state of this team is. Of course, the games where they've won tight, close games, the Paulo Banchero game winner, they should have never had that. That should have
No.
never been the situation. They
Mm-mm.
got lucked out from what would have been one of the worst losses of the season, and that's
I
fact.
agree. I agree.
That would
Yeah.
have been bad. They would have blown the lead. It just would have been an ugly, ugly loss, and there would have been some questions about the future direction of this team. That game-winning shot from Paulo, by the way, which was amazing. I saw it on replay like 1,500 times now. Can't get over how clean it looked, especially since we know he's been struggling from the three-point line this season. But otherwise, it's just the inconsistencies, like you mentioned, Don. Seems like every time this team takes a step forward, they take a step backwards. Not two steps backwards because they always find a way to bounce back the next game.
Yeah.
One forward, one back. It's kind of like
Yeah.
they're stuck in place. They're not moving backward and forward, but they're stuck in place. Can they take that next step forward? Can they climb that step? That's what they need to show heading into this later month of January, beginning into February, and hopefully they can piece together some wins. Maybe quote unquote some home games in Germany because we got Moe Wagner, Franz Wagner, and Tristan da Silva playing. They should bring out a lot of fans cheering for them. Maybe that extra kind of boost can help them out in getting more than just one game at a time.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, that there is like an element of paralysis to this weird stretch of, like you said, it doesn't really feel like they're consistently moving forward. And yeah, the game against Brooklyn was almost disaster, especially after nearly getting boat raced by Washington the night before. I mean, they trailed by as many as 26 points to the Wizards in that game before the second unit, led by rookie Jace Richardson, bailed them out, got that game within four, and made it look less ugly than what it was in the end. And yeah, I mean the injuries have definitely hurt. Without Franz Wagner, I believe this team is 8-8. He's missed 16 games up to this point. He's been out for over a month, 8-8 in that stretch. So you definitely need someone who is a fringe all-star. And yeah, I mean, you point to Jamal Cain, who should, for all intents and purposes, be in the G League developing. Same with the rookies, should more than likely be in the G League developing, but they need those guys right now. And a lot of this comes back to uh, I think that a perfect embodiment for inconsistency has been the play of Paolo Banchero, which we touched on a little bit before in our last episode. He'll have big games and then he'll have games where he struggles. I saw this number. It's from a bit of an older article, but Will Udy of Orlando Magic Daily, um, he wrote in a recent January 7th article that um, after the loss to the Wizards. Now, obviously, these numbers have changed since then. After Paolo finished the contest with just 14 points, it marked the fourth time in the last 8 games he failed, excuse me, to score at least 15. Now, again, these are a bit older numbers I'm pulling here, but even just a week or so ago, it illustrates this kind of inconsistency, and you need him to be the bona fide number one option. Desmond Bain can be in those situations. That's why you go get a Desmond Bain to be your leading scorer, to be your number one guy in spurts. But at the end of the day, Paulo Banchero is the face of this franchise.
Yeah,
And this team will go as he goes in a lot of ways. And it unfortunately for the Magic and pretty much any NBA team, if you're waiting to be fully healthy, you're going to be waiting forever. Like, especially at this point in the season, guys are going to get a little bit banged up. And so you just got to hope for the best and hope for the most from your top players. So the Magic are in a spot where, like you said, first in the Southeast, they're sixth in the East overall, and could very easily jump into the top three if they could just get a run going here. Not a ton separates the top from the bottom in this conference, with the exception of the Detroits and the New Yorks. So that brings us to, as we have alluded to this entire episode, the trip to Germany and Europe as a whole. The Magic are opening up a 2-game circuit against the Memphis Grizzlies. They will first meet the Grizzlies in Berlin, the birthplace of Franz and Moe Wagner, before traveling to London for a rematch against Memphis, to just kind of put together this European slate of games. And I know this means a lot for the Wagner brothers. The team touched down a couple days ago and today held a shoot around. And Mo and Franz just talked about how much it means, not only for them on a personal level, but for the evolution of German basketball. And as you said, Andrew, this is also where Tristan da Silva hails from. So a lot of German origin on this Magic team that will really help integrate the NBA into the country further.
I'm just glad the NBA did the right thing and not get a random team in the NBA with no connections to Germany. Obviously, that was very well calculated, because if they hadn't chosen the Magic with 3 German players on the roster, that would have been an issue. But like you said, Don, I think when I was listening to Mo Wagner's and Franz's today, they're really happy that they're just being able to perform and showcase their talents in Germany and their home country. But keeping a level head. Mo Wagner just returned to the court to play, so you don't want it to get too excited. You don't want to hurt anything. You don't want to overexert. I have to expect him to be on the minute restriction, as we all should. Hopefully, we start to see that minute go up and up and up. Hopefully, he turns 10 into 15 eventually, 15 into 20. Next thing you know, he's playing full time, maybe hopefully 6-man off of the bench, along with Anthony Black, who has been excellent still this season. But I think it's just really cool to see it come full circle for them. Obviously, they had a special run in Eurobasket. I think German basketball is among the best basketball in the world. So it's really cool to see them, and I think it's a really cool, unique connection for the Magic. Now against the Grizzlies, can they build on that consistency? They got the win against the Pelicans. Can they get 2 in a row? Can we see a strong full game of basketball, defensive effort, offensive effort, all come together for 2 games in a row? That's
Yeah.
important. Now, you mentioned something that kind of stuck out to me. It made me think, Desmond Bain has been so solid for this team in what he's done and what he's provided. Being reliable, I think, too. Like being available was his best ability so far throughout this stretch. But Paulo Banchero needs to be the ace of this team. Magic traded 4 first-round picks so that Bain could be the best third option in the NBA.
Yeah.
That's why they did that. They didn't
That's
trade for Bain to be the number 1 guy.
correct.
So if Banchero and when Wagner comes back, and if they struggle together and Bain steps into that 1 role, there's going to be no difference than last season of where this team's going to end up, first round exit.
Yeah, that's a good point, and it's one of those things where it's like that's what sucks. We've seen such a small sample size with this group of starters together that it's hard to make an assessment on what they can be, but in the smaller sample sizes, like Paulo and Desmond, especially recently, have gotten plenty of run together, and so I don't think that it's so much a like a chemistry issue. I think it's more so just like individual problems, like because Desmond, I mean, had some big games. He's also had some rough ones too, and that's just the nature of an 82 game season. And I believe the same can be said for Paulo, but it people will express their concerns maybe quicker than they should. But yeah, there's a lot to tell here, pre All Star break and especially post All Star break. But yeah, very, very, very happy for the Wagner brothers. That this is a big time moment for them. It's also a fleeting opportunity. This is just one game. They're not going to be there super long. And so, they said they're trying to make the most of it, spend time with family, stay involved with the community, because next thing you know, they're going to be on the plane going to England to play the second part of this. So, really making the most of it.
Hopefully, some German fans fly over to England as well, provide some
Yeah, you never know. You
home
never
court
know.
atmosphere.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. They need all the support they can get. But yeah, no. So two games against the Grizzlies, who have, from the sounds of it, a disgruntled John Morant. Rachel Nichols has reported that Morant would like to go to the Miami Heat. So there's a lot going on with that team right now. Just struggles overall. They sit at 10th place in the West at 17 and 22. So the uh, the Magic can make the most of kind of a mentally battered team here, and there's no reason Orlando should not win both of these games, given all that's going on within that organization.
Yeah, I mean, you take a look at the grand scheme of things. This is a game that you're supposed to look at the Magic's calendar and you're like, yeah, that's a win. That's a win. That's a win. And now you kind of see how they've been trending these past few weeks. You're like, this game is just as up in the air as any other game, or these two
Hmm.
games are just as up in the air. Jaren Jackson is still a solid, very solid player. Not having the season that many expect him to take another leap this year, but still great. And then John Morant, that whole news is that's league shocking, I would say, for many. The Heat would be in a very interesting situation if they got John Morant. Does
Yeah.
that instantly make him a finals contender? Not in my opinion, but it definitely could lead them to being first place in the division if the Magic don't get their crap together, should I say? Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, but that's where I'm at with this. Just for the Magic to bounce back, get it together against the Grizzlies. There's no reason why they shouldn't win a game in Germany. That would suck for both brothers if they didn't.
Yeah, and I think I expect Desmond Bain to pop off at least once against his former squad, especially given the
Yeah,
implications of these European
love a good
games.
revenge game.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Well, folks, I think that about does it for us. Andrew, before we sign off, do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, man. You mentioned the All Star game. I know with all the injuries, it kind of sucks to. We're probably not going to see another Magic All Star this season. When
No.
reality, maybe Desmond Bain maybe sneaks in somehow, but I doubt it from the way things have looked. It should have been Franz or Paulo's year. Once again, robbed by injuries. Feels like an
Yeah.
unfortunate cycle with this team and the injuries that they face. But you know what it is? Maybe a lot of these happened earlier in the season, so they're going to have like a nice healthy run at the end. That's what you can pray for.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, we look at teams like what Indiana was able to accomplish last season. Maybe the Magic go on a hellacious run and really catch fire
Hottest team in the
through.
league.
Yeah, maybe April, May, and June belongs to them. And if you make a deep postseason run, I doubt they'll be caring too much about all stars. But yeah, you do want to see a roster with so much talent at least have one guy representing. But unfortunately, you gotta be in these games and be available. But once again, folks, thank you so much for joining us when you do tune into this episode. As always, we appreciate it. And we will be back as soon as possible for another general recap of things and for more conversation. Please subscribe to the Full Court Magic YouTube channel. for not only podcast episodes, but post game content, post game pressers. You can hear directly from Coach Mosley and other players. Please join our Roundtable community as you can interact with us, be a part of what we're growing for no payment whatsoever. It's absolutely free. So please join us if you haven't. And for my friend Andrew Cherico, I'm Don Strouble. We will catch you guys next time. This has been Full Court Magic.